Yes, sir.
Joe Nappick from Shelton. I have two of many problems Congress can act on. I called your office, but I don't know if my concerns were registered. I ask that you help with these problems. The federal funds rate that has devastated interest rates, particularly for senior citizens, needs to be raised. It was promised that when unemployment hit 6.7%, rates would be raised. This is a promise unkept. Savers are subsidizing borrowers and the stock market. The Fed is an independent agency, but I would think that it would be subject to pressure. The public's airwaves have been stolen for the benefit of cable, satellite, and bundle providers. This situation may continue. The FCC is not acting in the people's interest. Again, I ask that you promote populist, democratic reforms in these regards. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Those are two very different issues, but let me address them. First of all, thank you for contacting my office. On the first point, low interest rates and the Fed is set up to keep my dirty mitts off their interest rate decisions. You probably know this. The Federal Open Market Committee, which sets the federal funds rate, is very deliberately and aggressively independent from Congress. And you may say that's a good thing or a bad thing. I tend to think it's a good thing because I suspect if we had a lot of influence, you would see the interest rates start to correlate pretty heavily, not with the economy, but with our election cycle. And, but the gentleman makes a very good point, which is while very low interest rates were good for borrowers, you know, if some of you refinance your mortgages at very, very low rates, good for our businesses that are borrowing, they're brutal on our senior citizens who are living on fixed income, who are expecting bond interest or savings account interest or whatever. Absolutely brutal. So your point is correct. Borrowers have had it pretty darn good these last 5 years. Savers who haven't taken the risk of going into the stock market have been hurt. And again, I wish I could tell you that I had some influence. Well, no, I don't wish I could tell you I had some influence over that, because I actually think that probably it's good that the Federal Reserve, while answering to Congress, does monetary policy independent of what I may think in any given moment. On the FCC thing, thank you for raising that issue. It's also our cell phones. More and more we live in a wireless world where that spectrum is enormously valuable to companies like Verizon and others. And I do think it's very important that we get good value for letting Verizon use this asset that belongs to all of us. I'm not an expert in this area, but I do know that it's very important that we get really good value from the Verizons of the world, the AT&Ts, who are making enormous amounts of money because we're all chained to these devices now. I appreciate you contacting my office about it. It's something I care about and I'll look into further.